Is Caitlin Clark playing tonight? Here's the latest on when Fever star could return from groin ankle injuries. As many Indiana Fever fans know, Caitlin Clark has missed more than 20 games due to a slew of injuries. A tight quad in the preseason, a full-blown quadriceps injury that followed, and 2 groin injuries on the left and right. The blow has been a tough one for the Fever, who have also lost Sophie Cunningham, Sid Colson, and Ari McDonald to injuries of their own. Fans are clamoring for Clark to return to the court, but right now her timeline remains unclear. Here's what we know about whether or not Caitlin Clark will play against the Lynx tonight. At time of writing, there is no indication that Clark will play Friday night against the Lynx, though there had initially been hope she might have returned to the court by this point in August. It's clear that Clark is continuing to rehab her right groin injury. That's a decision that's likely been made after consulting with medical professionals and the team's leadership. As difficult as it is for fans to swallow, what Clark needs more than anything is the room and time to truly heal so that she can return to full form. Whether or not that's in 2025 or 2026 remains to be seen. Speculation has swirled around Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark's return to the court after she spent more than 5 weeks rehabbing a groin injury, the latest setback in a season defined by interruptions. But the lack of rhyme or reason to Clark's injury status started to have fans scratching at their heads after seeing a game-time decision report before the Fever Wings match August 12th, only later that day to have coach Stephanie White confirm Clark had not even been practicing, raising questions as to what could really be going on with the guard's recovery. Tension only escalated after beat reporters Scott Agnes and Chloe Peterson released conflicting updates regarding a minor bone bruise Clark suffered on August 7th, an injury that had not been previously reported. Agnes noted the setback did alter Clark's return timeline, while Peterson stated it had not. The franchise responded with a vague statement that read, "There was no timeline or projected return to play, so it's impossible to say if it was impacted. So it remains the same. To give Caitlin as much time needed to ensure she comes back fully healthy, which every day she is working hard to do." With the uncertainty mounting, fans took to social media expressing frustrations and wondering if the star would even be back at any point in the season. On Thursday, Coach White appeared on the Query and Company podcast show on 107.5 The Fan. When show host Jake Query asked White about Clark's ankle injury and where things currently stood, White answered, "Caitlin is doing everything that she can to position herself to get back on the court. There's not been a timeline because her health and wellness has been the most important thing." This wasn't exactly new information, but what stood out was when she followed up, talking about how the bone bruise Clark sustained had, in fact, affected her return, saying, "We want to make sure she's 100% when she does get back on the court." Certainly the progress that she was making slowed a little bit. The confirmation that time had been added was in line with Agnes's initial report and provides clarity as to why Clark's status has flip-flopped from being day-to-day to game-time decision to eventually landing at no return timeline. The bright side of White's interview was that Clark's goal was to get her back out on the floor, and that currently the Fever guard is doing everything that she can to position herself to play. Caitlin wants to get on the floor to be a basketball player again instead of somebody who's rehabbing from injury. White told Query, "For now, the Fever are set to face off against the Minnesota Lynx Friday, with Clark listed as out for the matchup. But there are 9 in-season games left, and Indiana currently sits at number 6 in playoff position. The hope is that Clark can rejoin the squad and maintain their spot to make a deep run, and who knows, maybe even get a shot at the title."